Howdy, I'm Jace. I have sex addiction and I work with a bunch of other people who do too. If you are someone with sex addiction, or perhaps you know someone with sex addiction, today's video is going to be a doozy. Sex addiction has nothing to do with sex. Wait, what? Yeah, we're going to be talking about this in today's video, but before we do, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell button so you know when more of these videos come out. You can stay up to date by going to my website and signing up for the newsletter, and stick around because I got a free resource for you that's going to help with exactly this issue coming up at the end of the video. This is one of the hardest topics for people to wrap their head around. We have this idea that sex addiction stems from having like such a love for sex, like, oh, I just love sex so much, I indulged too often and then I got addicted. That's not really what's going on with sex addiction. That's not really what's going on with any area of addiction. That's kind of an old school mentality that doesn't hold water. You can learn more about what's really going on with sex addiction by, I have a couple of courses on my website that cover this more in depth. And of course, we have plenty of videos on here that talk about this area as well. But addiction stems from a place of pain that has required or has been perceived to require some form of escape or soothing or medication, usually started in early childhood. And for some people, that is tied to sexual thoughts or behaviors. Use over time of that okay, stick with me, over time of that results in changes in the brain that can become compulsive and in time can turn into addiction. Now, use is a really important distinction. When we are engaging in thoughts and behaviors in the sexual realm, and we know that that's a broad spectrum, which we just kind of put under the umbrella of sex addiction, when we're engaging in those as a form of using in order to self-soothe or to medicate or to just mitigate pain, and this is oftentimes emotional pain, we're not actually engaging in the thoughts or behaviors for them of themselves. So it's the difference of having sex, perhaps very attracted to someone, or you love someone, or you want to connect, or you want to share that intimacy, or you're exploring spiritual bonds through sexuality and things like that. That's having sex, right? Folks that are active in sex addiction are using sex. They're using it as a form to mitigate pain, to alter chemical state. So it's, kind of hacking the inner chemistry, using it to sometimes numb out, to feel nothing, as a means of self-soothing, or of maybe having a sense of security or power or love or attention or something. What we're really talking about are appropriate needs: safety, connection, acceptance, love, being seen, being heard, validated, right? We're talking about appropriate needs being attempted to be met in inappropriate ways. So for instance, I was more on the predatory side of the coin when it came to addiction. So I thought, and I know that this is super messed up and wrong in the sense that it's not accurate. It's also not cool morally. But I thought that since my power had been taken through sexual abuse, and I wasn't thinking about this, right? It wasn't like a plan I'd like put together as my like addiction plan and like, oh, and then I'll do this. No, but this is what I've come to learn later on in my healing, that I felt my power had been taken from me through my sexual abuser. And to get it back, I had to take people's power from them. And so I sought out vulnerable, kind-hearted, lovely people in order to have a sense of power and control, with that attempt to heal that wound from sexual abuse during my childhood. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work if you're doing it or planning on it. I can just save you time. It doesn't work at all. No one took your power, and you can't take anyone else's, but you can get yours back in access, which is, by the way, what we do over there at jacedowney.com. It's like specifically what we're doing. But anyway, we engage in these things as an attempt to have appropriate needs, in that case, safety, feeling safe, having my power being protected, right? In inappropriate ways. preying on people who I feel I could take their power, right? Does it make logical sense? No, nothing in addiction does. It's wackadoo cuckoo bananas up there, right? Which we have a video on the insanity of all of this, which you can check out. I don't know why I'm pointing. It's over here somewhere. Like my website and these videos, they're all over in this general sphere of the universe. I don't know why I'm pointing over there. So we aren't engaging in these thoughts or behaviors because they are enjoyable or we're trying to get them themselves, right? Where, for example, again, I'll keep using my story because it's the most appropriate one for me to tell. I would do all of this legwork to set up a sexual scenario with someone, whether that was being on the internet or meeting someone in person or developing something with someone. And that part was my reacting out. And then the actual act of sex itself was like, I guess I have to do this. It was like the cost for all of the other stuff. And this is not uncommon. This is not just a weird Jace thing. The actual act itself is not being done because we like sex so much. Now, that's not to say that people with sex addiction don't find sex enjoyable. Many do. There were instances, even in my reacting out, where it was an enjoyable experience. I even had connected experiences and lovely ones and ones that honored me. And like, there's no black and white. I know we want simplicity and the brain wants like concrete conclusions and it's this or it's that. We're human beings. So welcome to the complexity of the human condition, right? But for the most part, these are unsuccessful attempts for getting needs met. The really cool thing about that is we can find what those appropriate needs are. And believe me, it's all an attempt to get needs met, all of it. Even if it's coming out in toxic, weird, sideways, like nutsos ways, they're all attempts to get needs met, usually needs that weren't met in childhood. So when we can figure out what those appropriate needs are, then we just find appropriate ways to meet them. Welcome to your new life. Like it really is that simple. Yes, we have to deal with the biological side of it and the mental and spiritual and emotional and all of the things. It's got to be holistic. But that's really where strong recovery lies, is recognizing the appropriate need and finding new tools to meet it. And our reacting out behavior, whether that's watching pornography or going to a massage parlor or voyeurism or infidelity or anonymous sex or whatever it might be, all of those are tools. They are tools for attempting to get these needs met. They just aren't very effective tools. They can often be harmful tools, and they don't need to be the only ones in your toolkit, right? There are way more tools than those. And if you're watching this video, I have a feeling those tools aren't working for you anymore anyway. So let's get you some new tools. You can get one for free by waiting till the end of this video, and I've got that free resource for you. Or of course, you can head over to jacedowney.com, where we are working with people to help them free themselves from addiction and all limitations so they can live boldly satisfying lives. And it's really fun and it's really hard, but we have a good time over there. So if you're in a space where you're like, fuck this shit, don't want to do this anymore, and you want to try something else, come see what we're doing and see if it vibes with you. And you can click on the link below to get more info on that. I can tell you the secret to long-term sobriety and happy, healthy living is to master yourself, not your symptoms. That's what I want to encourage you to do, whether you do that with me or any other modality. Don't give up until you're living the exact life you want. You can be a proactive co-creator, designing the reality that you absolutely love. If you want to see how I help people do that, you know where to find me. Hello again. I am really, really excited. You know how I get excited. I'm so excited to get to offer this resource to you for free. I've taken one of my all-time favorite workshops that I give in person and condensed it down into a little mini course that you can take online at your convenience. We're going to be talking about how to go from that sense of powerless to a state of empowered. what is needed, and how to get there. It is free. It is on my website and it is waiting for you right now. Click the link below to get free access to this mini workshop. I'll see you over there.